The pills looked identical, same size, same color, same manufacturer. Tyler would never notice the switch, and I needed his Adderall more than he did. At least, that's what I told myself when I swapped our prescriptions. Tyler was my roommate junior year. Good guy, pre-med, diagnosed with ADHD since elementary school. Had a prescription for Adderall that he barely seemed to need. I'd watch him take his pill in the morning, then spend the day playing video games or scrolling his phone like any other college student. Meanwhile, I was drowning. Organic chemistry, advanced calculus, physics lab, plus working 20 hours a week to pay for school. My grades were slipping, I couldn't focus, couldn't retain information the way I used to in high school. I'd tried everything. Study groups, tutoring, cutting back on work hours I couldn't afford to cut. Nothing worked. I was losing my scholarship, losing my shot at medical school, losing the future I'd worked for since I was 12 years old. Tyler mentioned once that he sometimes forgot to take his medication for days at a time and didn't really notice a difference. I think I might not even need it anymore, he said, but my doctor says I should keep taking it consistently. That's when I started paying attention to his routine. He kept his prescription bottle on the bathroom counter, took one pill every morning around 9, usually while I was in the shower. Same routine every day, like brushing teeth. I started taking Adderall occasionally. Just bought it from other students when I had exams. $20 here, $15 there. It helped. Not dramatically, but enough to notice. I could focus for longer periods, retain information better, felt more motivated to study instead of giving up when things got difficult. But buying it was expensive, inconsistent, and risky. Then I noticed something during midterms week. Tyler had run out of his prescription and hadn't refilled it yet. 3 days without his medication and he seemed exactly the same. Same energy level, same focus, same everything. That's when I realized he probably didn't actually need the Adderall anymore. His brain had developed, his symptoms had decreased, but he was still taking it out of habit and doctor's orders. Meanwhile, I actually needed it. I was the one struggling to focus, to succeed, to keep up with the workload that was destroying my mental health and my future. It seemed unfair that he had easy access to something that could change my life, while I had to struggle and fail and watch my dreams disappear. The switch was simple. Tyler's pills were 20 milligram blue ovals. I had a friend who sold me the exact same pills, same manufacturer, same markings, everything identical. I waited until Tyler was in class, then swapped 30 of his pills with 30 of mine. Left his bottle with the same amount, just different contents. He wouldn't notice unless he looked closely at the pills, which he never did. I told myself it was temporary. Just until I could get my grades back up and figure out a long-term solution. Maybe talk to a doctor about my own ADHD evaluation, maybe find a different way to manage my course load, just a temporary fix to save my future. The results were immediate. My focus improved, my grades started climbing, I felt like myself again. More than that, I felt like a better version of myself. The version who could handle pre-med coursework, who could work and study simultaneously, who could compete with students who didn't have to worry about money or medication or access to resources. Tyler didn't seem to notice any difference. Still took his pill every morning, still went about his day the same way. Still played video games, still procrastinated on assignments, still seemed exactly like himself. Part of me started to think I was doing him a favor by removing unnecessary medication from his system. But 3 weeks into the switch, Tyler started having problems. Nothing dramatic, nothing he could pinpoint to the medication change, just difficulty concentrating during long study sessions, trouble sleeping, increased anxiety around exams. He mentioned it casually, thought it might be stress from upcoming finals. "I've been feeling off lately," he told me. Maybe I should talk to my doctor about adjusting my dosage. I told him that sounded like a good idea, kept taking his pills, kept watching my grades improve while his started to slip slightly. Kept telling myself that I needed them more than he did, that he'd be fine, that this was just temporary until I could find a better solution. I kept Tyler's prescription for the rest of the semester, graduated with honors, got into medical school, built the career I'd always dreamed of. Tyler's grades recovered eventually. He increased his dosage with his doctor and went back to normal. He never knew what happened. Never suspected that his roommate had stolen months of his medication and replaced it with pills that weren't helping his brain chemistry the way he needed. I tell myself that he was fine, that no real harm was done, that I needed those pills more than he did anyway. I tell myself that desperate times called for desperate measures and that I found a way to save my future without completely destroying his. But sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd just been honest. If I'd told Tyler I was struggling and asked for help, or talked to a doctor about getting my own prescription, or found some other way to manage my course load that didn't involve stealing someone's medical treatment. I'm a doctor now. I understand brain chemistry, medication dependence, the importance of consistent treatment for ADHD. I understand it better than I did at 21, and I understand that what I did was worse than I let myself believe at the time. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments.